Today we are making bison meatballs in an Italian gravy. Friends, if you've never had bison before, today is the day. This recipe is easy to make, nutrient dense, so delicious. Let's run through the ingredients and let's get started on this delicious Italian gravy. Here are the ingredients we'll be using today. A complete list will be in the description box below. So the first thing that we're gonna do is just chop up our onions and garlic just to get them in the blender. We're not doing anything fancy here, friends. If you know me, I don't do fancy. So I like to kind of smash the garlic down. It makes it, just makes it easier. If you're a huge fan of garlic like I am, go heavy on the garlic like I'm doing. Otherwise don't. Alternatively, you could use garlic powder, but I just love the extra aroma, the flavor that using fresh garlic makes, and it's a lot easier because we're not having to chop this up or crush it or do anything like that. It's just going in the blender. It's going in the blender. If there was ever a dump and go recipe, this is it. Then we're gonna take our onion. I'm just using a half of a red onion. You could use a yellow onion. I probably would use a yellow onion, I just didn't have one. So I'm using a red onion, and I love red onion. I don't think you can go wrong with it. So all we're doing is making it so it's easier for the blender, okay? That's it. And I like to chop the very end of it off. This very end. Just inside of, just making bite-sized chunks, okay? Now we're gonna grab our blender and whip this up. So now we're gonna just take our blender. We're gonna add in the onion and the garlic. And along with that, we're also gonna do just a splash, let's get a glass, just a splash of filtered water, okay? Just to get things moving. That's all we're doing. You are going to have to scrape down the sides, probably several times. If you don't mind the chunks, you know, just chop it up, dice it up or whatever. I do not like chunks in my sauce. If you know me, then you know. Scrape down the sides again. It's much easier if you double this recipe and you make a bigger batch. It's easier for the blender to handle it. When there's so little in here, if I had those Vitamix cups, mine got on recall and I didn't do anything about it, so I need to get more. I need to get the newer ones because then it would make this step so much easier. Okay, looks good. We're gonna set aside 1 tablespoon of this mixture for the meatballs, and the rest is going in the sauce. Actually, I wanna set aside 2 tablespoons. And looking at this, it absolutely needs to be blended more. Oh yeah, this is way too chunky for me. Friends, the struggle is real. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Name the movie. We're gonna dump the bison in. We're gonna add in the dried spices, not very many. Ten cracks of black pepper, the mixture of the onions and garlic. Wet my hands, it's gonna help. I'm choosing not to use breadcrumbs. I'm just gonna make these on the stove. And I don't think I need an egg, milk, or breadcrumbs in this recipe. And I also want this to just be simple, much simpler. Less steps, less ingredients. Give me a thumbs up if you appreciate less ingredients. Ooh boy. if I had smell-o-vision right now. Boy, that looks perfect. Okay. Then I'm just gonna take them, and I really like little meatballs. Okay, and we're gonna just roll them kind of like this into like 1 inch or 1/2 inch meatballs. Make them whatever size you like. Okay, next we're gonna set our pot. I'm using my nice big perfect pot. It's literally the name, friends. Then we're gonna add in 2 of the tablespoons of olive oil. We're gonna leave the other one for the sauce. Let that heat up. Grab my beautiful meatballs and a plate. But I don't want extra dishes. I don't want an extra step, so I'm just doing it this way. Make sure that the bottom of the pot gets, I like to use a silicone, and just make sure the whole bottom gets a little bit of that oil. Now this pot is very, very non-stick, so I'm not really worried about it. Not like that fiasco, that fiasco that I had with the, what was I making that day? Oh, the meatballs. What meatball recipe was that? Comment down below if you can remember that, but yeah, they stuck. Okay, now we're gonna just throw them in. I'm probably gonna do these in 2 batches. I do not want to crowd the pan today. If you're an oil-free person, you could do these oil-free. I am not. I love olive oil. Olive oil has a lot of health benefits. And in particular, I just love the flavor. That's why I use it more than anything else, is for the flavor. Now that's what I call non-stick. So we're gonna let them get a little brown. It smells so good, friends. Let's see how these are looking out. Ah, perfect. Just let them cook. They're looking good. Look at that perfect color. Now we're gonna just get them out. I am gonna turn the stove off for a minute because we have some stuff to do. What I like to do is take a paper towel. Again, my stove is off. I wanna start, and you might disagree with me, and that's fine. My grandmother taught me that Italian gravy is better without this. So I'm getting it out. Look at that, it's like almost clean. Turn the stove back on. We're gonna add the rest of that last tablespoon of olive oil. Then we're gonna add our mixture. Get as much of it out, because then we're gonna put the tomatoes right in here. But let's just get this stirring. Oh my goodness, I love the smell of fresh onion and garlic. Now I'm gonna take that can of tomatoes and I'm literally going to just dump it right in here and blitz this. Raise the gas on this just a little bit. I want this to cook down just a little bit. All right, perfect. And we're gonna add in the pureed sauce. And what I always like to do is add a little bit of water in here. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna use the filtered water that we call for in this recipe and just pour it into the blender to help get all of that deliciousness out. Perfect. Okay. Now we're gonna grab our tomato paste. I find it easier to use like a silicone spatula to get it out, because every time I use a spoon, it just doesn't do a very good job. Tomato paste is really gonna give this sauce depth of flavor, so do not skip this step. And look at that. I mean, friends, I cleaned that out. Okay, now we're gonna just give that a stir. I grew up always using a wooden spoon, but they didn't have silicone back then, and I am a fan of a silicone spatula, so I am gonna switch. That way I know I'm protecting my pot. You really need to take good care of these ceramic pots, because I really do prefer them to the old-fashioned non-stick. We're gonna take all of our dried spices. It looks like I have 2 bay leaves here, but look at how tiny this is, and it's broken. So I'm using, it's equivalent to 1. Add in that dried sherry. Why, oh why, is she putting sherry vinegar in it? Friends, if you know me, you know I like wine, but this is wine-free, and we're gonna use some honey instead of cane sugar. It really is important to balance the acidity in this recipe with something sweet, and honey works great. Alternatively, you could do something like monk fruit or maple syrup. Oh my goodness, it smells heavenly. Trust me, you are gonna want to double and triple this recipe. Look at this. Ugh. My grandma's watching over me from heaven with a smile, except she's saying, my granddaughter is using honey and sherry and bison, because she did not use those things. Okay, next we're gonna add all of the meat back in. All of the meatballs. This is gonna cook really fast because it's not a lot of sauce. Usually this pot is brimming to the edge, or I have to use a bigger pot. But I wanna make a recipe for you guys that is more suitable to like a week of eating, versus I like to do things big. I make things, it doesn't fit anywhere. They don't fit in containers, way too much. That's how I've always done it. I have a spatial problem. Wow, these are gonna be amazing. Be sure you're subscribed, because I'm gonna show you guys in an upcoming video how to take leftovers of this and turn it into a delicious dinner in your Instant Pot. Okay, now we are simply going to let this, make sure we bring it to a simmer. I totally forgot that we need the black pepper. 15 cracks. I love fresh black pepper. Oh my goodness, this smells fantastico. Okay, let's bring it to a simmer. Once it starts coming to a gentle boil, friends, this literally took not even 5 minutes. You need to just keep a close eye on it. That's another reason I love cooking in my Instant Pot, because you don't have to. But not everybody has an Instant Pot. Everybody needs to know how to do this. I'm gonna reduce the heat to very, very low as it will go, and just let it cook for about 45 minutes. Okay, it's been about an hour, and look at this, my friends. My friends. Wowzer. Look at this. These meatballs look amazing. You know I gotta taste this sauce. That is phenomenal. Okay, let's plate this beauty up. Look at this, friends. we've got to try one of these beauties, shall we? Oh my goodness, they look so good. Friends, if you have never had bison, in particular, bison meatballs, make this recipe. You will not regret it. Look at this, my friends. If you enjoyed this recipe, you're really gonna love the one that pops up on the screen, and I will see you over there. Bye, friends.